After 45 years that I have left my country, never come back. I didn't look back. When my father and my mother died, I just went into adventure. I would say the magic carpet of the medicine that I take, Jurema. It took me in a flight of 13 years, a whole Mayan cycle, 13 years of non-stop, more than 2 months in a place. For me, this journey of the now 23 years of carrying the medicine took me from Chile, one pole, to Finland in the Western Hemisphere. So it gave me a perspective. The master of perspective is the eagle, who is the one who can see the most. So I was flying on the eagle wing, and I see the awakening. And it's more and more and more and more. In Mexico and in Latin America and in general, the news are free, so you can choose the narrative. And then I fly to Europe, and then there was only one narrative. So this is dangerous. This is what is happening also. We are in a spiritual war. Either we go with the forces of light and life, or we go with the forces of darkness. So to move inside, this is the constant theme of the hero journey. First, you have to go to the suffering in your own life in order to understand the suffering of another one. So you're born in a certain moment, in a certain country, in a certain place, so you have a certain education, and you have wounded by your family, whatever it is, you are already compromising and directing your mind according to your wounds. So all your decisions are going to happen to have an effect, karma, that is going to bring you back, and then you're going to have a lesson, and you're going to suffer again until you start to break down the wall that you can be free. We have lost all our initiations with ancestors and with nature. Were uprooted during the Industrial Revolution. We were uprooted, and the Industrial Revolution is a result also of the Renaissance. That it was okay because it was a cleaning of the dogmas from the church from the Middle Age, and then the Renaissance happened. The imprint, the telescope, the technology, etc., that brings Industrial Revolution that take us from nature and from community. We know in our hearts everything, but we don't want to believe. So there is a lot of pretenders in this world, in every level of the whole thing. That they say one thing, but they do another thing. The American Indians, they call it the double-tongued. Certain people just repeat the words of teachers, and there are people who are the teachers, and the difference in between the people who repeat to the people who are talking from their hearts is like the field that they created. That's the energy that is being created, in which you belong to something bigger than yourself. You start to understand things from another perspective that is not more my own agenda, but our agenda. We are all potential. We have the same brain, the same heart, the same guts that Mozart, Leonardo da Vinci, Einstein, the potential is there. What keeps us from being in our potential is what we contract as fear. If you don't open, it's like a seed is a potential. If you don't open, you're rotten. And if you're rotten, you become compost. In the comfort zone, you don't make the script, somebody make it for you. That's the reality. We take things for granted, and nothing is granted. And one of the keys of the art of life is appreciation. You have to look again. And then, suddenly after 5 years of training and making ceremonies, at least the longest time, twice a month, and the bigger time, 4 times a week, during 5 years. And then suddenly, she speaks, and she says, no, because there is no time there. It's like the conversation continued 10 years later. And she says, but first I have to have all the experience. And she says to me, no, we are not a tool. In case that you deserve it, you're going to be a tool from us. And I understood that the voice was coming from the intelligence that make us, because we seem very, very, very intelligent, but where is the intelligence coming from? From the relationship between the sun and the earth. God is not the creator. He's not an entity. He's the creativity itself. And when you are creative, you are aligning with that energy that creates the whole universe. I am the ear who hears the tape, so I can decide. And if I start to work with my intention, with my will, then suddenly I connect with a higher form, or whatever you want to call it, of thinking, that it could be called the Buddhi mind. I arrived to the definition that enlightenment is not a place that you arrive and you say, here I am, I'm enlightened. You know, this is a stone Buddha. The enlightenment is the moment of the starting of the journey. Before there was fear. The only real thing is experience. It doesn't matter where you are in the realm of consciousness, from dream without dream, dream with dream, normal state of consciousness, altered state of consciousness, satori, samadhi, nirvana, and finally parinirvana. It all belongs to what is the consciousness of Shiva. And your experience inside of that is real. If you're running from a dragon in a dream, that's your experience. And there are certain cultures even that believe that the dream time is more real than what we live in here. And when you think what we talk as reality is a little layer of the electromagnetic field of the light that is big like Finland, and maybe we perceive 1 centimeter, and this we call reality. The healing wheel say that we are made out of body, heart, mind, and spirit. And you have to feed them all, not only the mind, because then the heart needs to balance that. Not only the money, but the spirit, not only the spirit, because you have to pay the rent, so you have to balance with the material, and every part is sacred. But you have to have in order to balance. Balance is at the center. In Tai Chi, martial arts, and even in the yoga, etc., it's all balance. Magic is only one aspect of the spiritual search. In the magic, what looks impossible or even not rational can happen. The spiritual considers everything. Magic is a wavelength, like the radio. You have to tune with it. If you don't believe magic, then you're never going to tune with it. And we are so much wired into that direction that we don't allow magic to happen in our life. It's not that I am isolated by the magic. On the contrary, it allows me to see the whole picture. And I do believe that the people who are the most creative people, magic is related also to the creator. The biggest magician is God or goddess. But if you bring it into the incarnation in the one man, is the one who can mix all the elements in order to create something new through the power of imagination. Imagination. That's Maya. It's the beauty inside of the perception of the world. Through the ears, through the eyes, through the smell. Because also, perfumes is an art. Food is an art. Wow, this is something. It's not only pheromones or whatever it is that describe the science can describe with linear words. So this is what is the beauty in the perception of the world. So I am totally open. My shield is absolute vulnerability in order to understand as much as I can, perceive and be empathic as much as I can. And this is love. And in love, because there is no way where you sustain yourself, because where you sustain yourself is still a place where you hold instead of letting go. In this total vulnerability, nothing can attack you. Love is the higher power than any power that you can gather as a human being. Love is absolute vulnerability. You open to it. Because it's the only way that you receive full life, or what Jesus was saying, eternal life. You became a tulku. You remember that death doesn't exist. That is only a transformation. Okay, we get another spaceship, like you get a new car, and it's sacred. The problem is not death, the problem is life. What we do with each minute that we have of life. If you complain, that's your signature for life, instead of being thankfulness.